I was scrolling Facebook some time ago when I noticed that help was needed documenting what's going on at the Ukrainian border, so immediately I asked my friend if he'd be down to go with me, and he agreed. We live a 7 hours drive away, so to be there the next morning we had to leave at midnight. After a whole night of driving, we arrived at our destination, and immediately we felt like we're in a slightly different world. Dogs running around freely, people burning grass on the side of the road, just a slightly different mentality. Not that it's a bad thing, but that's not the point really, because what we had seen along the way is nothing compared to what we saw once we arrived. My biggest thought from the time spent at the crossing is that it's a land of paradox. On one hand, you have the absolutely incredible volunteers, true heroes who with their energy make this place vivid, welcoming, and even happy. Many refugees are truly exhilarated to have crossed the border and reached a safe place. But on the other, these are all people whose lives have been hijacked, who just spent many hours in the cold trying to escape the terrors of war, who left everything, often including their husbands and fathers behind. And for what? That is as heartbreaking as it gets, honestly. Imagine being in their shoes. Most of them don't speak English and were never abroad, and now they're in a different country not knowing anything. Neither what they'll spend the night, nor what they'll do later. Everything they now own, their whole life, fits in their small, often dilapidated bags. The interesting thing is, what we're doing on the border isn't anything groundbreaking, or frankly even life-saving. Don't get me wrong, it's important, and if there were no volunteers, that'd be total chaos. But this is very simple, down-to-earth help, providing these people with the most basic needs, and most of all, being welcoming and supporting towards them, just smiling. But you can do something more, something that feels like really having an impact. With hundreds of people needing a ride to all over Poland, we couldn't just drive back home. Not to mention that very little people offered driving someone to Poznań at that point. So early in the morning, we went to a nearby reception center, registered with the police to make sure we aren't kidnappers, and found 2 ladies who had family or friends in our hometown.
Ребята, огромное спасибо вам.
Wszystkiego dobrego, niech wam Bóg błogosławi.
Спасибо.
Oh, dropping them at the front doors of where they wanted to get was honestly one of the most fulfilling things I've ever experienced. There were tears of joy streaming down their cheeks, and when they saw their friends and families waiting for them, the happiness was incredible. I wanted to be clear. The day spent at the border, helping out in any way I can, was one of the most important days of my life. I'll never forget this experience, never. So, how can you help? Well, first of all, remember that help will be needed long term, and with time, less and less people will be willing to provide it. Secondly, we can provide financial aid. Then, you can go to the border yourself. I definitely recommend that you do it through an organized volunteer group like my scouting organization. Links are down in the description. But I really think that one of the most important things you can do is provide someone with shelter, at least by getting them a little closer to where they want to get. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.